So he said, although we can't look and see tension, we agreed that there was quite a tense position at setup. Okay, certainly in your grip and your forearms, your feet are sort of pushing in the ground, sort of squeezing down, everything looked very sort of tight and a bit rigid. And again, if we look at your spine angle, although it's a straight back, we're looking to try and create sort of a 90-degree angle between spine and club shaft. Okay, there I would say you're a little bit closer. We could potentially get a little bit more over, okay? Yeah. But where you are there for me is sufficiently enough over so you're getting in more and more towards the right position without feeling like, oh my god, because even that move there feels like you sort of your spine sort of somewhere down here.
Yes,
so
yeah.
Making
really
small little adjustments bit at a time is the best way of doing it, because it still keeps you sort of closest to your comfort zone, which is obviously here on the left, but you are moving towards the right position. You do it too much in one go, it feels so strange, you're making a complete mess of it, and then you think, well, I'm not doing that, it's just rubbish. Okay, now swing wise, as we said, we're just trying to get a nice loose fuller circle. Okay, this was the swing on before where you were sort of quite tense. That's how far the club went back. If we watch this, you know, unfortunately your arm disappeared, but you'll see how much further you go back. Now the club is going a little bit low there, which you might a bit more detail in some further lessons. Okay, but just sort of put a note here now. Ideally, you want your arms to be a little bit high, but don't worry about that now. Just work on just trying to get that fuller movement with the circle. We can sort of tweak that as we go through again, trying to keep the thoughts down to a minimum. At the moment now, it's just getting that hinge and that loose feeling with the swing and getting the body working. Okay, as you swing this one down here now, as you come back, not a bad strike, but very, very static. Shoulders are still going to turn through, as you can see. But if we see how much he hasn't moved, your knees are almost in the same position, so your hips haven't really turned at all. Your hips are probably kind of in that direction over there. So your back now is going to be sort of twisted in all such a way, it's going to be very difficult to make any sort of speed with that. In comparison to where your arms will sort of fall down. Lovely strike, great strike. Even now, look, your right foot's moving already. Your right foot, before you the golf ball, is moving through. Bit more movement there, isn't there?
Hell of a lot.
And that club can, and that's why, with him moving more, the club now going further around here and more. It just, that looks very sort of like can't really go anywhere. Where that looks like a nice sort of free movement, as if you could stand there and finish there all day. Whereas this one looks a bit sort of, don't want to stay there anymore because it's too stiff and just it feels awkward and exactly, yeah. And your body kind of realizes this is painful, so I'm going to recoil back out of it to stop putting any pain on my back, because your shoulders now fully rotating, your hips are now sort of in that direction, so your spine, which is really sort of twisting up the middle there, and depending on who you are, you'll feel pain somewhere between those two blue lines in those arrows there, somewhere in the middle, the top or the back, where your back is sort of doing this. And again, then when you slow it down, yeah, you might get more of a consistent strike, but why hit a ball 50 yards when you can get 120, 130? There's no point chapping it down the fairway 50 yards every time. No. Then the other might go 60 or 70. You saw you at 60 yards with just your flick of your wrists. So you can create the speed, but again, to use that wrist hinge there we showed you, your grip pressure had to be loose, didn't it? And I think once you realise it's secure, but not going to come out of your hands, but you can then just release with your thumbs on top, hey, it's not going to come out, is it? No. People just squeeze on for dear life in fear the club's going to be thrown 50 yards down the fairway, and they're just squeezing on. And once you squeeze the hands, your forearms, your shoulders, everything gets tense and tight, you can't then create that bigger circle, okay? So we can just practice that movement there, trying to get that club working a bit more, allow the body to kind of go through with that. That movement now just looks a lot smoother from back to front this way when you swing back and through there, compared to this sort of move here now where it goes through. Just looks a little bit kind of
juddery.
Yeah, you can almost, if you just watch the legs there, how they sort of there's like a wobble there, because they're trying to sort of stay on the ground, and there's no real, I don't want to go anywhere. Yeah, where this one here now, it's more of a flow with the body as you swing through. It all sort of comes through with it a bit more easier, because, and I think if you can do that practice, as I said, twice a day, brushing the teeth in front of the mirror, just get your 2 feet side by side, put some shoes on the tiles on your bathroom there, and just get used to that right hip.
Coming through.
Get that right hip to work over towards your left toe there, okay? That's what we're trying to do, okay? And if you can do that, the more you start doing that movement, I mean, when you first did that, your right foot didn't move at all, because that's what it's kind of used to have been doing in the past. If you get that right hip moving more, then suddenly you start, hang on, this foot can start moving with it. Oh, hang on, that makes more sense. I can do that now. And you'll be surprised how much more movement you get. Hence why I've never been able to turn that far before, because you have now had more movement.
Rotation.
If your swing is only this far, okay, it will go less than if a swing is going to be that far. So the more we can increase that circle around the golf swing, increase the body movement, loosen up and get that swish of that club, 120, 115 yards with your 8-iron is something you could easily do. And then you're looking towards sort of the 200 yard mark of your driver, which is a level down there again, a bit further down the line. But that's sort of potential we're looking for, okay? And I always say that as sort of lesson one, just to give people, okay, well, what am I aiming for? If I say, well, you're at your 800 yards, and then you're 700 yards, and you're 500, and everything's, we want to see what you could do. So giving you a sort of, okay, I reckon you can get 200 yards. That for me is kind of a goal I'm going to set myself to try and get you to get there.
Yeah.
Now, obviously it's a 50-50 thing. You can go and practice and work on that. We can give you the sort of tool to go away and do that, but that's kind of what we're looking for. Physique-wise and everything else, that's what you should be able to do. Like Ben and Chris, they can get at that sort of distance roughly, so there's no real difference between you three, is there? I mean, sort of size and stature-wise and strength, there's no one sort of super strong. It's just club head speed and technique. You get the right technique, you get looser and get that club speed, you get the ball a long way. So, make sense?
Yes, definitely.
Excellent.